Here's something that might surprise you, Daniel. We've had 45 presidents in U.S. history, but only one person ever served as both president and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. His story completely changes how we should think about political leadership.
That's such an unexpected fact, Pappy. Who is this person who managed to reach both of those incredible positions?
William Howard Taft. And here's what's fascinating: he never actually wanted to be president. The presidency was more his wife Helen's ambition for him. His absolute dream was always to serve on the Supreme Court.
Hold on. Someone became president without wanting the job? That seems almost unthinkable today.
Well, it happened because of his close friendship with Theodore Roosevelt, who basically handpicked him as successor in 1908. Roosevelt thought Taft would continue his progressive agenda, and here's where it gets fascinating, their different leadership styles led to one of the most dramatic political fallouts in American history.
Hmm. What made their approaches so different?
You know how Roosevelt was this larger than life figure who loved the spotlight? Well, Taft was the complete opposite: methodical, quiet, focused on legal processes. But here's the surprising part: Taft actually filed more antitrust suits than Roosevelt, over 80 of them. He took down giant monopolies like Standard Oil and the American Tobacco Company.
That's completely different from what most people think about Taft. Why isn't this better known?
It's all about style versus substance. Roosevelt made everything dramatic and headline worthy, while Taft just quietly got things done. Take his dollar diplomacy approach instead of Roosevelt's big stick. Taft used American business investments to build influence abroad. Pretty innovative for the early 1900s.
So, what ultimately caused their friendship to fall apart?
Two major issues. First, the Payne-Aldrich Tariff Act of 1909, which kept tariffs high when progressives wanted them lowered. Then there was the Bollinger-Pinchot affair over conservation policy. Roosevelt felt so betrayed that he actually created his own political party to run against Taft in 1912.
That must have had some serious political consequences.
Oh, it absolutely did. The Republican vote split between them, which handed the presidency to Democrat Woodrow Wilson. But here's the incredible part: losing the presidency might have been the best thing that ever happened to Taft.
Because of the Supreme Court position?
Exactly. In 1921, President Harding appointed him Chief Justice, and Taft finally got his dream job. He modernized the court's procedures, strengthened the federal judiciary, and was reportedly much happier than he'd ever been as president. He even said he doesn't remember that he was ever president.
Looking at his actual accomplishments, it seems like we've really oversimplified Taft in our historical memory.
That's right. Most people know him as the president who got stuck in a bathtub, which, by the way, probably never even happened. The real Taft was this fascinating combination of progressive reformer and careful conservative who created lasting change through careful legal means.
So, what's the bigger lesson we can take from Taft's story?
I think it shows that sometimes the quieter, more methodical approach can be just as practical as dramatic action. Taft's careful, legally minded approach to reform had lasting impacts that we still see today in our antitrust laws, our federal court system, and even in how we think about using economic power in foreign policy.
That's quite a legacy for someone who's mainly remembered for a bathtub story, Pappy.
And you know, Daniel, what's really remarkable? His influence continues through the federal court system he helped shape. He might not have been the president everyone expected him to be, but he ended up being precisely the kind of leader he was meant to be, especially when he finally got that dream job on the Supreme Court.